Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with another high-level game, and we are finally featuring the mighty Psionic. Now, if you guys don't know who this player is, let me give you a little background on the lore in case you guys don't watch other casters like Lionheart or Soldier. Psionic is actually a former StarCraft 2 pro. He came to AoE 3, I don't know how long ago. I think it was less than a year ago, though, so he's still a pretty new player to the scene. But he has been rising up the ranks insanely quickly, well over 2k elo, loves to play France. He's not afraid of doing some strange builds, like he's done the classic CDB aggression, which is really, really fun to see. And he has just been learning the meta insanely quickly, because I'm guessing a lot of those skills from other RTSs translate well to AoE 3, but having to learn all of this game's weird mechanics, I'm sure has been a trip, but he's been doing really well, becoming pretty popular, taking part in multiple tournaments, so there is the full overview, and I've been wanting to cast one of his games for a while, so really happy to find this game today, and his opponent in the south of the map, playing in the color blue, as the Portuguese, we do have Pyro. Now, I don't know if that's referring to Pyroshiki, who's like an old school legacy name. Maybe it is Pyroshiki. I have no idea. Maybe it's just a Smurf. Who can tell? But he is going to be playing as Portugal, Psionic playing as France. Interesting matchup, actually. I think the Otis is really on France to decide what the pace of this game will be. It's going to play out in Age 3 at the earliest. That's my prediction. Yeah, you know, France can do a timing with Musk Huss. But honestly, against a port player that knows what they're doing, you're really just not going to be able to stop them from getting into Age 3. And with extra TCs and extra Minutemen pops and just how fast they can get aged with the Exiled Prince, it's better to just go up to Age 3 yourself, maybe focus a bit more on your eco and try to beat them that way. Because that is kind of the one weakness of the Port FF, is that they're going to get out a lot of TCs and they're going to be up early, but their eco is not going to be great, and they're just not going to be able to, you know, sustain Vil production from those TCs until, you know, they really get settled in. So France does have a window there, and it does look like Psionic and Pyro both going up to Age 2. Looks like Fatorius coming in for Pyro, and he has a very standard port deck. He even has the capability for the Age 4 Ribald strat, which is just a horrifyingly disgusting build where you get out Age 4 organ guns, Ribalds is what they're called, and then you send this card right here, Grape Shot, which just makes them insanely good. And you basically just mass organ guns and halbs or dragoons or whatever you want to build with them, and you're unstoppable. Like, even if your opponent makes Colves, you just have enough organ guns and they do so much damage, especially in close range, that your opponent really can't beat you. And yeah, I've seen Lionheart do that build, and I've seen other players do it. It is so difficult to counter. So you basically have to stop port before they get to that point. Now, Psionic, if we take a look at his deck, okay, this is a really good anti-port deck for two reasons. Number one, he's got the 10 Jaegers, which are going to be a good counter if Pyro decides to go for like heavy Cassador play, because regular skirms will not outtrade Cassadors just because Cassadors have that extra range resistance. But the big one is one of my favorite cards in this game. I freaking love this card. I honestly think any player that has the capability of having a deck with this card in it, Advanced Artillery, you need to have it, especially for civs like Port or Inca, or even against like India with their Agra forts. Having early access to mortars in Age 3, what this card does is it sends you a mortar, and then it allows you to build mortars from an artillery foundry, which normally, you know, that's an Age 4 unit, super long range, really good against buildings. And it can really catch the port player off guard because they're focused on getting out, you know, Dragoons and Cassadors, and then all of a sudden you're bombing their TCs from half a map away, and they don't always have an immediate answer because, you know, usually port players aren't thinking, okay, I got to get into Age 3, I got to make calls to deal with your mortars. So it can be a really, really good strap. And yeah, I've won a lot of games against port that I had no business winning, but because I had that mortar, I was able to take the win. But Piero is now in H2. He's going to be going with, I mean, not a super defensive TC. Like, I don't think these TCs are within range of each other. Let's take a look here. Are they? No. Okay. So, I mean, it's not a super defensive TC, but it's also not super aggressive either. It's not like he's sticking it in the middle of the map. And he's making pikes. Okay, that's interesting. So it's not a pure eco FF for Piero. I mean, that's gonna be good because Psyonix looks like did make cavalry going with a Huss semi FF, which I think is the right play for him as France. Musketeers just they won't hold up well against TC Fire and Minutemen. Honestly, I don't really know if Piero needs to be making. Oh wow, he made another 5 pikes. See that feels like too many. Ooh, could catch the Hussar here. Ooh man, a bit of miss micro from both players. Psyonix runs his Hussar right into pikes, and then Piero, maybe not looking, did not catch them. So they're gonna be able to get away. But I mean, oh man, he's making more. I mean, every batch of pikemen is about 200 resources. So he's spending about 500, 600 resources on pikes. Which, I mean, it's going to be good for sieging down this TC, but that just feels like it's really going to delay your age up. And as long as Psyonix cav control is good, he's not going to lose any of his Hussars. And he's even calling Minutemen here, which is just the response he needs. Pikes can basically not kill Minutemen as long as they're kited well. And so these Minutemen will be able to pretty much kill all of these pikes as long as Psyonix controls them. And even in cover mode, I mean, Minutemen have 26 ranged attack, so they're just great at killing pikes that are not supported by crossbows, skirms, muskets, whatever. So, I mean, I like the 5 pike play. I think 15 pikes is too much. And you can see it in Piero's macro here. Like, look at how much it's delayed his age up. I mean, we're already at the 7-minute mark, and he doesn't have the food because he spent 500 of it, or maybe like closer to 300 of it, building pikes that, I mean, yeah, they've warded off some Hussars. They've done some damage to a TP. But yeah, I would rather have the earlier age up, rely on TC Fire and Minutemen. But we'll have to see if it comes into play. Psyonix even making a second batch of Hussars here. And is he going to go in against the pikes? Surely not. Maybe he thinks he has enough numbers here, but this is a really bad trade. These are 80 resource units taking on 200 resource Hussars. And yes, in mass, Hussars are going to win, but I mean, the cost effectiveness of it is going to be really bad for Psyonix. And he's going to lose a full batch of Hussars there. That's 1,000 resources. And now Piero is clicked up to H3. Psyonix is going to be right behind him. So, I mean, yeah, losing those cav, not a great move there by Psyonix, but as long as he gets up relatively closely to the port player, he's going to be okay. He's at 25 CDBs against the 24 port villagers, so economy is slightly in France's favor, though port has 2 TPs to France's 1. And, oh, wow, that's a really aggressive stable by a Psyonix. Hopefully he doesn't lose that, but I don't know. I feel like both players may have made too many units here. Let's see. Both have market upgrades. So economies are going to be very even. Third TC coming out. We'll have to see where this guy goes. Is he going to be really aggressive with it? Is he going to try to secure map control? What is he going to do? Doesn't want to get caught by these Hussars. They're trying to come in, maybe pick off a couple of vills here. 1,000 wood coming in immediately from Piero. So definitely more of an eco-based FF here. And wow, yeah, this TC is going to be very aggressive. He basically wants to push on the FB of Psyonix, take this coin mine, and possibly even secure some of the hunts next to it, which technically would count as the French players. So really aggressive move here by Piero. And oh, look at this now. Psyonix in H2, sending 2 Falconets of his own and bringing in his own pikemen. He's not going to stop this TC from going up, but buildings in foundation mode take 4 times damage when being sieged, and so even though he won't take it down, he'll do a ton of damage to this TC before Piero's able to respond, and maybe the Falconets can come in and finish the job from there. They're going to be complemented by a handful of skirms, but there's going to be no anti-cav if these pikes go down, which I think you can be okay with that against Portugal. Just because Portugal really aren't known for getting to H3 and then making a lot of heavy cav. They usually just go Goon Halb or Cassador Halb or Halb Organ Gun or something like that. They don't usually opt into Hussar. though. I mean, Piro does have a stable, so he could, although I don't think he will. All right, so TC not being repaired yet, and now that the Falconets are coming in, they have skirm support. There are some CDBs here as well, and these guys have been given the Great Coat upgrade. Don't know about Blunderbuss, though. Oh, wow. Okay, so Psionic could even buff him further. He has the Pioneers and the Wilderness Warfare. Does not have Northwest Passage, so it's not like a full Azang villager army. And now, oh my god, Pikemen and Minutemen pushing here along with Cassador reinforcements. CDBs being called in, and it does look like one Falconet's going to go down, but the Minutemen are all going to go down as well. Pike's finally being destroyed, and the Cassadors, even with the one remaining Falconet, it is at full health, and they won't be able to stand up against that along with the reinforcing skirms and CDB. And so it does look like this TC will go down, which is excellent for Psionic, but now 5 goons coming out. Is that going to be enough? I think the TC is still going to go down here, but they will definitely be able to snipe the Falconet. Probably going to cost him all 5 of those Dragoons, though. And there's going to be enough CDB and Pikemen and Skirm here to take out the TC. It's on 800 HP, and so that is a very close call for both players. If Psionic had not been able to take out that TC, I would think he was in a very bad spot, because losing those 2 Falcons for basically nothing, that would be a really horrible trade. But, I mean, losing 2 Falcons for the cost of a TC, it's still not great for France, but at least you got something out of those units. And now it does look like Psionic is going for Skirm Goon of his own. He's going to have to throw in some heavy cav, because you're not going to be able to out Skirm Goon Portugal. Their goons are better and their skirms are better against your skirms. Maybe with some CDB help, but these are your villagers. You don't want to lose too many of them here. He's only at 31 CDB pop versus the 36 vills of Psionic, who is still going to be producing from 2 TCs. And he did send 1,000 wood, so his infrastructure is also going to be really good as well. And it looks like he's saving a lot of wood. Is he going to try to get up another TC? Going to try to replace the one he just lost? It seems like it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so Piro, excuse me, is going to be really quick to replace that town center, but it is going to come at a cost. So still a good take for Psionic. He's now sending 8 skirm on top of making more skirms as well. So he's just going to go full light infantry here. I'm hoping he backs that up with some goons or maybe even some curs. You can use the skirms to snipe out the dragoons pretty well in mass, and then you can get those curs on those Cassadors. And Cassadors with their low HP just melt to heavy cav. But picking off 2 CDBs here, nice move by Piro, continuing to be aggressive. And Psionic hoarding a lot of wood as well, and he's going to be getting up a town center, so going to be negating that TC advantage by at least 1. It's going to be 3 versus 2. Making double skirm at the moment. Curs now being made from the stable as well. The French economy is looking pretty healthy, but there comes the fort from Portugal. This is a classic move from ports. This is going to buy them a lot of time, maybe even enough time to get into Age 4 and get out those just disgusting organ guns. And looks like a couple of goons going to be getting caught here by Piro, but he is going to now know Psionic about this 3rd TC, which is good info to have. And oh, the Curs, they're going to get on the Cassadors, and there are no goons. They all went away to chase down these couple of goons from France, and there are some reinforcing Hussar, but these guys are just Age 2. They're not upgraded, and there's enough skirms to just kind of brute force them down. But it looks like the Dragoons will be back in time for tea, and the Cassador mass stays relatively intact. Skirm numbers also remaining healthy for Psionic here, and wow, a lot of goons going down there to that Cassador fire. And ooh, okay, so Psionic and Piro both have quite a few military upgrades in their deck, and France going to continue to push here, but now that the fort is up, you don't want to be fighting under it. It does insane splash damage, especially against low HP units like skirmishers, and oh no, Psionic, get out of there, man! If those 3 organ guns pop out from this fort and catch these skirmishers, it could be a really bad day for Psionic. I'm actually surprised Piro's not making some Hussar right now to try to catch him. Psionic, he's got another shipment. What is he going to send? There it is, baby! The advanced artillery card is going to be coming in, and as long as he can get up enough of an army to protect that mortar, it will be able to destroy this fort without any issue. because right now Portugal just does not have the army to charge in and try to brute force down that mortar. The Dragoons, as long as the skirmishers body block, will not be able to get to it, and Castadors just don't have the damage to take it out. But these 3 organ guns might. These 3 organ guns, if they can get a good volley on the mortar, if they see it in time, they will be able to deal with it. Gonna get some nice fire on those skirmishers as well. And Psionic, yes, while he does take out quite a few of the Castadors, his skirm mass has been damaged quite a bit, down to 21 skirms, but he is double producing from his barracks, 35 CDBs right now against the 50 Vils for Piro. But also Piro does, it's hard when like all of the players start with a P. It's difficult to keep up, but it does look like Piro has a full TP line as well. Going to be getting down that final middle TP. And Psionic, he's got to be strategic about where he puts this mortar here. I would love him to stick it just right behind this house in this tree if it has the range. Yeah, really nice placement for him. So this is actually going to, ooh, nice catch there. He's going to stop that TP from going up. My only worry is that right now he only has these skirms to defend it. There's really not a good body blocking unit to keep anybody from getting at that mortar. But I mean, losing the one, oh, nice catch for the TP. Losing that one mortar isn't a huge deal because he can continue to make more. That's the main focus of that advanced artillery card, but you don't want to just lose that one mortar for free. I mean, it is like a 400, 500 resource unit, so you want to take care of it. Piro now sending refrigeration. Okay, so he's already going to start sending in his eco upgrades. I don't know if I agree with that. I almost think at this point, you know, you haven't quite won a decisive enough military engagement to start sending eco cards, especially since Psionic has 2 Culverins out and he just wastes 2 of those organ guns. Great catch there by France. All 3 organ guns going down for free. And those guys getting a little out of place. They're a little too bold. And yeah, wow, great Culverin play there by Psionic. Refrigeration now going to come in as more mortars are being created from the French artillery foundry, which is right over here. Let's see, 41 French CDBs, 59 Portuguese villagers, which now have refrigeration, which is going to make their food gathering really good. I almost feel like at this point, maybe Dragoon Combat or 1,000 coin would have been a better shout, but if he's able to get away with it, his economy will be sick, but all right, Veteran Hussars now coming in, so there's going to be a heavy cav switch here from Piro, which is good, seeing as Psionic has precisely no anti-cav at the moment, and these 5 Hussars, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage, but Halberdiers coming in right at the right time. There are only a few of them, and they're going to be shot down very quickly by the Castors, but just the presence of these Halberdiers is going to have to keep the Hussars honest, and it's going to mean that they can't just be thrown in there recklessly. Now the Goon's going to come in, try to kill these mortars, but it's not going to save the fort, which is going to go down, give France 220 XP, which is a delicious amount for his next shipment. He's now double making Halberdiers at the moment to deal with the Hussar switch. He's got enough skirmishers that he can pause production of that for a while. And as the Goons go down, that batch of Castors is going to be more and more vulnerable to the few curs that he has in the back of his army. And now France can proceed and raid the Portuguese economy much more freely. And a lot of these Portuguese villagers, which were secure because of the fort, they're going to be in far more danger of being raided here. Skirms en masse are such a great unit for just picking off Vils because they can go in, shoot a couple of Vils, and immediately go out without taking any damage at all. He's going to use that mortar to shoot down that TP. Really nice move there by Psionic. And what is Port going to do? He's not making any Culverins of his own. It looks like he's sending an infantry upgrade card. So he's sending Constable. It's going to be buffing up his... Oh, wow, it buffs your Hussars and your Halberdiers. And your Spies for some reason. Okay, so that's basically a Cav Combat and a Hand Infantry Combat card. Making some Culverins now, which never feels great, right? When you have to make Culverins just to counter a mortar, it doesn't feel like the best use of resources, but at this point, if he wants to save his infrastructure, that's what he's going to have to do. Still has 3 TCs, 75 Vils, so the port economy is still looking good. The score is still in favor of Piro as well. But the French army is also looking quite scary, still has a mortar online and still has one Kolv, and the Kerr numbers are starting to grow. So there's a lot of siege in this army, and there's a lot of tank ability in this army. And with the number of skirms that are still there, it's going to mean that the goons that are in the Portuguese army just aren't going to be that useful at the moment. And yes, he does have upgraded veteran hussars. They are at 432 HP, but against the 574 of the Kerrs, plus some halberdiers in the mix, Psionic has done a nice job, kind of bracing for the heavy cav switch. I don't know if he sees it coming, but you have to think at least, okay, I went all skirms, all artillery. I'm playing against a very good player in Piero. He's got to be going for some sort of heavy cav play. A lot of Portuguese villagers here now on berries, and that's kind of the one downside of cards like Refrigeration is, yes, it makes your gathering speed really, really good, but it also means that you're going to eat through your natural resources much more quickly. That Kolv almost just got shot to death. But going to be pulling back just in time. And now this mortar just kind of playing in the back, totally safe. Just going to take out that third TP there from Piero. But now the fight looks like it's going to be going into full swing. The Kerr is going to try to get on the Caçadors, but Halberdiers now from Portugal. These guys have been upgraded by the Constable card, but going to be shot down by the skirms. And I think Psionic probably going to want to pull back here, get a better position. Now 2 Falcons joining the fray as well from the artillery foundry that he already built to make the mortars. And the Kerr is going to be in a good spot. There's just not enough goons here to stop them quickly. Now more veteran hussars coming in, but the halberdiers just slicing and dicing and doing such good damage here, even though there's only a couple of them left alive. The Falconets not really shooting at a good target here. They're only shooting at the hussars, and there needs to be some sort of reinforcement here from France. The anti-cav is fast running out. This one brave halberdier getting shot down, and this one Kerr going down as well. And it does look like these Falconets are going to fall, but the hussars are at pretty low HP, and as long as there's some sort of reinforcement here from France, the army should be able to remain intact. Now all of the goons going down as well, and this is a battle of attrition at this point, and the mortar is still firing from the back, doing basically no damage, just providing fire effects and moral support. But the final veteran hussar going down here for Portugal, and now that the hussars now have to deal with these halberdiers and these dragoons, they're not going to be able to dive back in and try to finish off those skirms. And I just love that that one mortar is still alive. Caçador numbers really starting to fall for Portugal as well. These halberdiers now snaring the remaining dragoons, and these reinforcing halberdiers, these 8 halberdiers, these are not what Piero needs. He needs Caçadors. He needs something to deal with all of this range, and halberdiers, though, if they do get a snare on these skirms, they might be able to do work. Bit of a miss micro there from Psionic, but it does look like he's going to finally be able to kite, and there's just not enough Caçadors to keep him honest at this point, though the mortar is going to go down. Sad sight. Dragoon's going to finish off the last of the halbs. There's still enough of them to ward off these hussars, and look at the French reinforcements. 5 Kerrs about to pop, along with double skirm, sending 7 skirm and 5 dragoons. So Psionic has kept a lot of his military shipments in the back pocket. Meanwhile, Piero does not have a single military shipment remaining, and there's only 2 goons left, and they are not going to be able to save these remaining Caçadors. But look at all these veteran hussars coming out of nowhere, just diving in from the south side of the map. There are still a couple of goons in the French army, and these Kerrs are going to be able to tank enough. Dragoon combat coming now, and it's going to be far too little, far too late. And I think there just might be enough veteran skirms here to slowly pick off these veteran hussars, though they will be able to get a nice bit of damage here. Looks like that one goon and that one Kerr holding down the line, protecting the skirmishers there. Piero continuing to go double hussar, though now with the 5 goons coming in, along with a few more halberdiers from France, it's looking good for Psionic at this point. He's down in score, and a couple of his villagers gathering hunts here are going to get raided, but he's at 56 CDBs versus 92 vills for ports. The problem for Piero is that he's very fast running out of natural resources. He's now been forced to build 3 mills at the back of his base. That's 1,200 wood in investment. It's really going to slow down his reinforcements, and now this remaining TC is on a barren spit of land. It's not really going to be that useful. So producing vills there, not going to be great. I guess he could send him to these berries, but I mean, berries, he does have refrigeration, so they'll still be good. The problem is that Psionic still has so many natural resources. He has berries down here, he has a hunt to the south, he still has a couple of hunts up here, and now with the halberdiers and curs coming in, just the reinforcement numbers for France along with the supplemental shipments, I think it might eventually break the Portuguese back. And if Portugal loses this army, I don't care how many villas he has back here, they are going down. Oh, having to build an estate as well. So that's what, 2,000 wood worth of investment there just to gather resources. And this is where port, runs into problems so often is their economy is so supercharged. It's like a car running on nitro. It burns really fast for a very short time. And if you're not able to fully transition into the end game economy with mills, with estates, you're kind of weak for a second there. And now that 2 more mortars are coming in, these are what are going to be a huge boon for Psionic. Because what these mortars mean is that France is going to be able to decide the engagement. Port can't just sit at the back of his base and hope to wait. He has to come out. He has to deal with these mortars. He's continuing to make double vet Hussar, but I mean, France, once again, he's sort of transitioning his army to deal with the newest threat. He's making a bunch of veteran halberdiers, pulling in his CDBs as well. He has goons that need to come back to the fight. Those guys cannot be lost when the eventual engagement happens. Piero now sending Economic Theory as his next card. It's basically the best option he has at this point. And I mean, the Portuguese army, it's pretty scary, but a lot of it just doesn't feel overly useful. Like, I mean, these goons just aren't going to be able to accomplish much with this many French skirmishers. And there's so much siege in the French army that, again, I mean, Psionic doesn't have to look for a fight here. He can just continue to destroy Portuguese infrastructure. And once he reaches these mills and these estates, Piero has to fight him. He cannot allow this infrastructure to fall because, I mean, that's just going to cost him the game right then and there. And yeah, look at this. Piero now forced to make pikes because that's all he has the resources to make. And pikes are the last thing you want at this point in time. Looks like a TC is going to go down here for ports. I mean, the skirm numbers aren't as big for France as I thought, and that is a lot of veteran Hussars. These guys are upgraded with constables, but there's still quite a few curs in this French army as well, and this is going to be the final engagement. Whoever loses this fight is going to lose the game. Hussars being thrown in, but being thrown in kind of recklessly here. They're thrown right onto the halberdiers of the halberdiers, and they are going to be minced to pieces. And with the reinforcing goons and the curs to snare, and the skirms putting in fire in the back, and the Castadors, they're not shooting. They're running away, but they're not turning around to kite, and so they're not able to take out these halbs fast enough. And now all of the veteran Hussars basically being killed. The skirms can focus the goons, and the remaining curs can get on the Castadors, and this is going to be a beautiful victory for Psionic here, not even having to pull in his vills like I thought he would. Reinforcing halberdiers coming in now, but there's just no good angle to get at the skirmishers, and I think just a bit of miss micro here from Piero's Hussars. If they had been able to get on that skirm mass and not directly dive onto the halberdiers, probably would have been a much different fight because he had a lot of heavy cav. It just was not fighting the unit it needed to be engaged with. And these few dragoons in the back just ensuring that no reinforcing Hussars can get an easy catch on these skirmishers. And they were basically able to fire the entire time, but a really, really clean execution by both players. Wow, now I know why I wanted to cast Psionic for such a long time, because his French, man, I mean, for a guy who's been in this community for less than a year, like the fact that he's doing so well, I mean, I guess like those StarCraft 2 skills, they're very applicable to basically all RTSs. And once you kind of get the weird meta of this game, I mean, I'm sure he already feels very at home. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this game. Let me know if you want to see more from Psionic, more from Piero, or if there's just another player you want to see featured. I will do my best to bring him to you. But until next time, guys, have a great day. Have a great life. See you later.